Hello, everybody. Welcome. Last webinar of the year. Chris is going to be sharing the screen. There you go. See, I don't like. Amy switched it up. The prezzies look better.
You can't see if somebody asks a question.
Yeah, you can see. Well, I think you still can.
Yeah. Somebody
There's a
ask
way.
a question, please.
Somebody type a question really quick.
Or hello.
But then, yeah, go to the screen. I think we'll be able to see it. Yeah, see? I think we'll see it there in like that pop-up thing
Right
on the
here?
bottom. Yeah.
Or right here.
Well, I don't know. Either way, the prezzies are supposedly looking better. So
there we
let's.
go. Katrina asked what kind of question. So yeah.
Thank you, Katrina. Perfect. The answer was any question, so thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go, Chris. Present. This is about reverse engineering your
2109.
2109.
Way in the future.
2109 clinical research goals. I mean, you've got a lot of time to prepare.
18,000 years from now. You're all right.
You've got a lot of time to prepare, which is good.
Yeah.
No, it should be 2019. Okay, so far we're 0 for 1.
So far, failed.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Next slide. So, goal mapping.
Go ahead.
Someone's on the phone? Okay, goal mapping. So, here's the way we're reverse engineering the 2019 goals. First one is goal mapping. And you've got to figure out, first of all, what you want, when you want, and how you want. And by the way, this is for... We're actually breaking this down into the people already in the industry and the people that want to be in the industry, employees, and site owners. So it doesn't matter what you are. Everybody has goals. We have goals all the time. Every year we have different goals. We have... Where's the Prezi?
Okay. Reverse engineering.
Okay, here we go. So every year we have different goals. I mean, what's your goals next year, Chris? I know we've got a bunch. I'll put you on the spot.
You did.
It's all right.
I have a number of goals. I'm trying to prioritize. What would be number one? Well, everybody likes to make more money, right? But I think mine necessarily would not be that. I think it would be more getting the CBD up and rolling.
CBD, yeah. Wow, you let the cat out of the bag with that one. We're definitely going to be making a lot of content next year around our foray into the CBD space as a sponsor. And we're actually getting involved on the sponsor side with another project called Exosome Exosome Therapeutics.
Yep.
So you'll be seeing a lot more of that. That's us vertically integrating. But the goal, I mean, every year I have different goals. So we're going to try to help you guys plan and show you how to measure your goals. So it's what are you trying to accomplish? And again, it doesn't matter whether you're in the industry, whether you're not, whether you're an employee in the industry, whether you are a business owner.
Have goals?
Why not?
So as an employee, what would be your goal if you're an employee?
How to improve your skill set, how to protect your career from market volatility, how to, I mean, everyone can have something else. Maybe if you're an employee, you want to own a site. Maybe if you're an employee, you want to be a CRA. Maybe if you're a CRA, you want to be a project manager, or maybe a contract CRA.
Okay.
Like, there's just tons of questions I get, and they're all people's ambitions.
All right.
At different stages, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the what. Set your goal. Figure out what it is that you want to accomplish. For example, and this webinar is based off of a podcast we did. Do you remember it?
No.
Okay. Well, we did one, and then I asked Amy to convert it.
How long ago?
A couple weeks ago.
Oh, not that long ago.
No.
Memory's slipping.
That's not good, man. But we're doing a lot, so it's understandable.
All right.
So set your goal, figure out what it is that you want to accomplish. For example, finding an entry-level position in the industry, starting a site, growing your site. These are just some examples of what I get on a daily basis from people. Okay?
Okay.
Then set a time frame for yourself. Tell yourself that in 2 months, 6 months, or 1 year, you must accomplish your goal or decide on something else. By setting a time frame, you will better your chances of achieving your goal instead of just dreaming it. There's something called Parkinson's Law. I think I've told you this.
Okay. Tell me again.
Basically, your activity expands to the time allotted for you to complete it. So if you're given, they use this example in school, like in college. If you're given the whole semester to write a term paper,
Yeah, it'll be the last week.
yes. If you're given a week to do it,
You'll start right away.
it'll get done, right? And so basically, you want to use time, like you want to actually create a sense of urgency for yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. We're all human beings. We all procrastinate to some degree or another.
And life is short. I mean, it's long. You got to think long term, but it's also short. Like nothing's guaranteed. The sooner you get started on something you really want to accomplish, the better. Stop procrastinating. Stop putting ambiguous stop doing ambiguous goals like I want to be a millionaire. You know, that's very ambiguous. It's
How are you going to get there?
right. Or maybe some people who want to get in the industry say I want to be a CRA. Okay.
How are you going to get there?
That's a little less
What are the-
ambiguous.
What are the
but,
steps?
right. Or I want to grow my clinic and I want to be the premier research company in the country. Like that's just very ambiguous. Like you have to have clear goals, clearly defined goals with a time frame. And you want to create a sense of urgency. Most important thing, create a sense of urgency. I've been doing this my whole career. It's artificial, but you're artificially creating a sense of urgency. And guess what? Things get done when you do that.
No, it's a little easier if you have ADHD or something of this nature, right?
Or a lot of people have too many projects. Like that's where I fall into. Too many things going on. So then sometimes the danger is nothing gets done, which I'm trying to work against. Other times people are just afraid to even start. So they never do. So what they wanted to get done in 2019.
So is this a fear of failure?
Yeah, it's just fear, period. Let's say somebody has a goal for 2019. They never get started because they're afraid. Now it becomes a goal for 2020. And they're thinking, well, eventually I will do this. But it actually never happens. So create a sense of urgency. If you take anything away from this, create a sense of urgency for yourself. Perfect example of a goal for us is that book we're writing. All right, the Comprehensive Guide to Clinical Research.
Yeah, I have no sense of urgency there.
No, but I do.
You do.
Lucky, who has been helping put it together based on all of our modules. I mean, we have like weeks of content that are in video and audio form.
Right.
He's putting it all together. I think the book's about 60% done. I'm taking it with me for the holidays. By the time the year is over, 2018, I will have 70% of the book done. And then when we come back, I can finish the rest by February with Lucky. So I got to keep on top of him at this point.
So what's the sense of urgency?
The sense of urgency is let's release it by spring.
Okay.
Latest summer. Latest summer.
So the deadline.
The deadline for me is summer, and I hope Lucky's not listening. The deadline for him is April.
Okay.
I don't think he's listening. So I've been telling him, hey, by April we need to get done.
Sure.
In reality, I'm okay with it in the summer.
Sure.
But I'm artificially creating a sense of urgency, you see?
Yeah.
So set a time frame. Otherwise, you're just dreaming, okay? And map out the steps necessary to reach your goal. Like our book. Let's use the book as an example.
Mm-hmm.
What is the book about? What are the topics? Reverse engineer the topics. What are the subcomponents? Who's going to do that? Where are you getting this material from? Where are your references coming from? Who's doing that? When is each chapter going to get done? We've been doing this since
a year.
Not quite a year.
Yeah, about a year.
April. I think it was April of this year.
Yeah?
That we started the book.
That seems longer than that.
And it's like 50-60% done by now.
We were over in the other location. I guess we haven't moved that long ago.
We moved from April.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So reverse engineer it. Do the research to find out what it takes to get to where you want to be. Then do the math to figure out how to complete each step within the time frame you originally set for yourself. Hold yourself accountable. So we're going to discuss practical things, not just our book, but I'm using our book as an example because it's something that I've created a sense of urgency for, and it's a goal for next year, right? So, and there's tons of goals that we can talk about of our own, but I want to talk about yours. So right now we're going to get into the clinical research employees. We're then going to get into the prospective business owners, and then we're going to get into the existing site owners. Okay. You wanted to say something? Let's get into the research employees while you say something.
Well, I was just going to ask, you also need to prioritize, right?
So break it down.
Well,
they don't know.
Well, okay, I'm speculating. I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying in our situation, right? The book is not all that important.
No, to me it's the most important.
But it's not.
To me it is.
But why?
Because that's the foundation for everything else we're going to do.
It's an element, right?
This is perfect. Thank you for bringing this up. So what is our end game goal for the next decade?
Sponsorship.
Own equity in about 10
drug to market,
biotech,
something to
CBD
market
type of companies, right?
Yeah, and something to market.
Own equity in about 10 or more.
Succeeds.
Yes, own equity in about 10 or more sponsor type companies.
Right.
Well, how do you reverse engineer that? You get more clients.
Sure.
For our consulting firm. You get more clients for our CRO because the clients from our consulting help us get more CRO projects.
Sure.
You get more CRA Academy students to work in the CRO. So you get more studies for our individual sites because it gives us more credibility and experience and allows us to train our employees better to fit into this ecosystem. And what's at the foundation of all of this?
The book.
Well, the book.
I'm kidding.
The book, which is part of content in general.
Sure.
The foundation is content,
right.
YouTube,
right.
podcasts. But one area we've been lacking is having a legitimate book. Like I've had a bunch of Kindle books, which, by the way, when this book gets released, I'm deleting all those.
Yeah?
Yeah. I still have them, but I'm deleting them from Amazon.
Sure.
Because I want people, when they search for clinical research, to find
the book.
All right. Everything else has just been leading up to this book.
So it's the additional content, right? It's one of the pillars.
Yes.
Okay.
And see, I just
broke
down.
That's the overall goal.
I just broke down our decade goal into actionable things.
Right.
Right. Which breaks down into yearly goals, which breaks down into monthly, which we're going to show you breaks down into daily goals. But you're right about prioritizing. You're right. And people need to do that. Okay, so goals for individuals working as employees within.
What? Where?
Within.
Oh.
Amy said within. Within the research industry. Okay, these prezzies look great, but there's just typos, Amy. It's okay, though. Everyone understands.
Hopefully.
Goals for individuals working as employees within the research industry. So let's go back. Prospective researchers looking to break into the industry. We're going to go through that first.
All right.
These are like people that join our CRA Academy. And then established researchers already working in the industry. These are like our clients.
Or CRAs want to be project managers.
Or CRAs that want to be site owners.
Right.
There's a lot of those people. A lot. Way more than I thought. Right. I always suspected, we'll get into that. So let's get into the prospective researchers looking to break into the industry. So goal, getting an entry-level job in clinical research. Break this down. You tell every single one of our students when they come in here.
You're doing an excellent job.
Yes, but you got to do this one, okay? Because you have this conversation with students. When
I
they
do.
come into our CRA Academy, everybody wants to be a CRA.
This is true. They do.
It's almost like they don't know that other jobs exist.
And it's not almost. It is. They don't know. Right?
And it's very unrealistic for someone with zero experience
to expect to be a CRA.
to expect to be a CRA, much less in a year.
Though there are positions now out there. Right?
There are.
Entry level, you need about a year's experience.
If you're a nurse, you have a better chance.
Sure, nurse better chance, but you don't have to be a nurse.
Right, and actually it is possible to be a CRA in 1 year with zero experience, but there are steps to take.
And these are the steps?
Well, I'm looking at this for the first time as well.
Do research to learn the basics about the industry. Yeah, that's a fair point. Know what you're getting into. Know how to get into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like we just said, there's other positions aside from a CRA.
Starts with education.
Yep. There are plenty of resources on the internet that outline the ins and outs of clinical research.
There's no way you can say, I want to be a CRA and don't know what a 1572 is. It's
Right.
unrealistic.
A 1,572.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's unrealistic. Okay.
I would agree. But wait.
Yeah.
We've talked to CRAs, air quotes, who don't know what 1572s are.
Right. But I don't think they were actually CRAs.
Air quotes.
Yes. They're good liars. They're not CRAs.
I would agree.
Okay. Next.
All right.
So first, educate yourself. You don't know where to start unless you educate yourself. Right? Get hands-on experience.
And I would say make realistic goals, right?
Yeah, but see, that's part of education. You don't know what's realistic unless you
I agree.
do the homework.
Absolutely. And once you do that homework, then you realize, well, there's a ton of there's hundreds of other positions, probably hundreds, right, plural, of positions outside of being a CRA. So, take one of those lesser known positions.
What are some of those?
How about being a coordinator? Right?
Yeah.
How about being a trial master file specialist?
How about being an in-house CRA?
Sure. Or regulatory specialist. Anything.
Anything that's like a few rungs of the ladder beneath a CRA.
Yeah.
And we're in a great market. 2019 is going to be even better than 2018 for research. Well, what are you doing, Chris?
I'm just curious about how many entities.
Okay. It's holidays. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. Well, you didn't have to ask. Just let me do my thing.
2019's. Remember how 2018 we said this is going to be a super busy year?
Man, it is going to be.
Well, 2019 is even more. So I'm even more bullish.
I misheard you. I thought you said 2019. Yes, 2018. No. Yes, we said.
At this time last year,
right.
We did a very similar webinar.
And it was. Yeah.
And we said I'm so excited about 2018, and it turned out to be very busy, busier than we expected.
I would agree.
2019, I'm expecting even more.
And I would agree with that.
Okay, so
even busier.
So what does that mean for people that are looking to get entry level in research?
Excellent timing.
Exactly, but you still have to do the work. You still have to educate yourself. Then you got to get hands-on experience. Try to work at a site as an intern. Find other ways to apply the knowledge you've accrued. I've said it time and time again. Every research clinic needs help with patient recruitment.
Sure.
That is the best place. If you are someone looking for an entry-level position, become a patient recruiter. You don't need to know that much about research to recruit patients. Bring some sites, some patients.
I'm remembering this.
Work your way into being a research assistant.
So we discussed this 2 weeks ago.
You remember this podcast?
I remember this part.
So talk.
Right. So what we recommended would be go to a research facility and tell them you're more than willing and apt and able to recruit on their behalf for patients, or volunteer for some other activity and volunteer, right? So you're not costing them anything. That's a good way to get some experience. And you know what? If you came in my door and volunteered and did a really good job, I would surely consider hiring you.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know anyone out there that wouldn't. That's a site owner.
Right.
But you wouldn't even know, unless you do your homework, if you're this person, what a research site even is.
Right.
Right?
Or a recruiter, or a coordinator, or any of these things.
So once you learn the fundamentals, Then you get hands-on experience.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start applying like crazy, okay? And this is where you got to hold yourself accountable and be realistic, okay? So let's go back. 400 applications. These are not just numbers we pulled out of thin air.
They're not?
No. Me,
Sure.
yes. Me, Elite Clinical Research, who's another YouTube channel, and this gal I interviewed who started out as an in-house CRA and now as a CRA, and a few others, have come up with this for research naive people. It's going to take 400 applications. 400.
To get 2 or 3 job offers.
People stop at 4. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've had a few students.
400 to get 10 interviews and 2 to 3 offers. That's a lot of rejections.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Hey, trying to get a job is a full-time job.
There you go. So next. Here's someone that is already in the industry.
Okay.
How they can get a more desirable position and improve their career prospects. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So there's CRC, there's in-house CRA, there's senior CRA. There's all kinds of stuff. This is just an example. This is the common pathway many people take.
Well, I don't know if you go directly from in-house to senior, but okay, fair enough.
Right. You go from in-house CRA to regular CRA, and then to senior CRA, and then lead CRA,
Right.
project manager if you want,
Yep.
or site owner, which we're going to get into.
But the point is, you have to start somewhere. That's the
Yes.
point of the whatever that is.
So let's say you're already in the industry. Okay, let's say you're a coordinator, and your goal is to be a CRA. Okay.
But you can go directly to a CRA if you've been a coordinator for a while.
Yes, but what's going to improve that even more? Doing more responsibilities at your site.
Well, the more you know, the better off you'll be, right? So with responsibilities comes more knowledge, right?
Right. And you also need to do more than what's asked of you. For example, if I were at a clinic and I were a coordinator and I wanted to be a CRA, I would maybe not even ask my boss. I would just start reviewing the other coordinator studies, like as a CRA. And if somebody were to ask me, what are you doing? I say, look, I want to make sure that there's no issues when the monitor comes. So I'm reviewing I'm doing SDV and SDR.
Sure.
Not just on my own stuff, but on my colleagues' stuff. Which employer is going to tell you that's not okay?
Well, we talked to a CRC, this might have been a year ago, when we had that Let Me Embarrass You segment.
Yeah.
For like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And remember, she was a coordinator. I think she worked in Canada.
I remember.
Yeah, and she knew nothing of regulatory.
Right.
Right? And she was asking, how do I learn about regulatory? Well, like you're saying here, just take it on yourself. Take initiative.
Go to whoever's doing regulatory and help
Volunteer
them.
to help.
Yeah. No one's going to turn you down.
Right.
And if they do, find somebody else.
Or just review it yourself.
But if you're a CRC that wants to be a CRA, nobody is going to help you achieve that. It's on you to do that. How does that start? It starts by learning new skills. What does that mean? It means you've got to actually do more than what's asked of you at your place of work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes without even asking for permission.
Yep.
Right?
I would agree.
Not only that, once you do that, you've got to tweak your CV to include those things. Oh, yeah. Otherwise, nobody's going to know that you've done that. They're just going to see CRC and they're going to say, well, this person has no clue about SDV and SDR. Well, yes, I do. On my CV, it shows what I've done at my sites.
Yep.
That is basically being a CRA without the title.
Sure.
So it makes it much more easier for a prospective employer to want to hire you. Right? So that's what the slide basically explains. Do research to see what skills are required for the position you want. Put it on your CV. Start doing that. Put it on your CV. Don't even ask for permission. Just start doing it. If Carlos started reviewing Rosario's work here, Carlos is our coordinator, started QAing Rosario's work.
Sure.
Would you be mad?
No, of course not. I would laugh probably, though.
Sure.
There would be humor there.
Yeah, but he'd be building up his skills while you're laughing.
Of course.
Okay, so that's that slide. Now let's get into prospective site owners. This is where we deal with an equal amount of people, right? People that want to start their own sites.
Oh, yeah.
We dealt with one yesterday. These could be doctors. These could be CRAs. These could be coordinators. These could be
Anybody.
completely research naive
Could
people.
be people that clean pools.
We've had that.
Yeah.
We've had people own donut shops that want to. I mean, it's all over the
Speaking
place.
of which, we need to call that individual.
Yeah, I'm gonna email him, or we can call him.
Yeah.
We'll call him after this webinar.
Make sure.
You want to write it down?
Yeah.
Call donut shop guy.
Yeah.
See what happened to him.
Yeah.
We want to make sure he's successful.
We want to make sure he's okay. He paid for everything and then disappeared.
Right. Okay, so individuals who wish to start their own research site. There's two different kinds, right? There's completely research naive people looking to start a site, and there's established researchers looking to start a site.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into the research naive. Break it down, Chris.
Again, I'm reading?
Yeah.
Okay. So goal. Starting a site as a research naive individual. Know what you don't know, which is kind of tough to do, isn't it? How do you know what you don't know?
Well, it goes back to the education.
So
Same thing as the research naive that wants to work as a researcher.
I know nothing about nuclear physics.
Yeah.
Okay, but what do I not know within that?
A good place to go would be YouTube.
Okay. YouTube's good for everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned how to program a garage door opener on YouTube
Oh, yeah.
last weekend at my
Oh.
brother's house.
Oh, very nice.
You know why? He didn't do it. And I felt bad for his wife. And so I did it because I had time.
He was like, honey, you can deal with it.
He's like, have this remote. You know, I don't want to program it in your car because it takes time. Took me 15 minutes.
Sure.
How did I do it? 2 YouTube videos. That's it.
Yeah, YouTube is amazing.
I'm oversimplifying, but
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you have plenty of content out there, and so do others, right?
there's
Anything
other
in the
people out there.
Anything in the research industry, you can probably find more information about it on YouTube.
And you can go beyond YouTube. Go to Google. Go to Amazon and look for books on it, which is why I want that book, which
Sure.
is why that book is foundational for what we're trying to do. It's the third pillar. We have video, we have written content, we have audio. That's actually 3 right there. And then we have a book.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So to break into the industry as a site owner, research naive individuals will need to learn how to work in the business and how to work on the business. Oh, yes. We discussed
You
this.
love this.
Yeah.
You love this.
Sure.
So explain working in versus working on. You need to learn both.
Right. If you're going to be a site owner.
And these research naive people don't know either. The
Sure.
next one that we're going to get into, the people who have experience in the industry, they know the working on.
Not in.
Oh, no, sorry. They know the working in, not
Not
the
on.
working on.
Right.
Break it down. People
So-
are confused right now.
And you just helped.
I know.
So working in would be being the coordinator at your own site, right? So doing the actual work involved within the study,
Right.
okay? So once you have a study, how do you get paid on a study? Well, you gotta work in it, right? You gotta see patients, you gotta collect data, you gotta enter data, you gotta bring CRAs over for some fun, right? All of this, right? That's working in the business. Working on the business is how do I get more business? How do I get studies? And what's all involved within that realm, right? Or working on the business, amongst other things, right? How to licensing and all of that. So that's the difference. Both are important. If you're not doing one correctly, you're probably not making a lot of money. Though I would say working on the business might be a tad bit more important because you can do a fair to poor job working in the business and still make money.
Right.
Right.
But to learn how to work on the business, which is actually the business aspects, like developing strategies to recruit patients, finding PIs, and acquiring new studies. If someone's asking, can you get an entry-level job as a CRA working from home? No, I would say that's unrealistic.
I would too.
But those positions are available, and there are entry-level at-home positions, like in-house CRA, or
I don't know.
assistants. I've seen them.
Sure, but I don't know
But
if they're...
CRA, if you want to work from home, like completely virtual, never going to sites, but just remote monitoring, that will be a position in the future that's going to be more prevalent.
Then it won't be entry level. Though.
But it won't be entry level. So you have to build up your expertise any way you can right now. But those positions are coming. So that's good news. The bad news is you kind of have to have the experience. And right now, the easiest way to get experience is going to be at the sites.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you can get at-home positions for trial master file specialist. We have a former student that is a data manager, work from home, never goes into any office. I interviewed her. Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah. But a CRA, right now, most CRAs are still, like 99% of CRAs still go to sites.
Yep.
They may work from home, but they're still going to sites to do site visits.
Yep.
In the future, as we get more and more virtual trials coming out, which is debatable, but I think that's the trend, you are going to see more of these kind of virtual positions.
Well, if the sponsors have any say in this, it will go virtual.
It will go virtual.
But there's a big component that's kind of a roadblock in the way.
Yeah, but let's not get sidetracked.
Sure.
So now the goal is starting a site as someone that's research naive.
Okay.
Did you cover everything?
Yeah.
Learn how to work in the business, then learn how to work on the business.
I would like to add just one other thing. When I said you can do a fair to poor job and still make money, that's not your ideal way to make money, though. You want sponsors to come back to you.
Right.
Right?
Which one's more important for research naive, working in or working on? I know it's hard to split hairs.
They're equally important, right? I mean, I would say working in. Actually.
I would say so, too.
Because you need to be able to talk in the business, too, right? To work on the business.
And to be successful as, like, a solopreneur, like, I'm assuming you and a PI,
mm-hmm.
right? You are the coordinator and a PI is the PI. You only need one study.
Sure.
And so there's not much working on the business.
But to get that study, you need to be able to talk in the business, too, right?
Right, but you could luck your way into it, too.
And learn a few things.
But in a market like 2019, you could luck your way into getting a study without knowing much. Especially if they hire us as their consultant. We're getting sites, research naive sites, who know nothing about research studies.
Right.
So I think it's a little more important in the beginning to learn how to work in the business. I think long term, it's much more important to learn how to work on the business.
And I think we had a couple questions.
Yeah, go back to the question. Attendee chat up there.
There we go.
Oh.
Where do I find a list of local research sites to apply to help them with recruitment? I'm new to the industry. Just Google?
Yes. I don't know where research sites are near you. Google does, though. Google does know where research sites are near you.
And so does...
clinicaltrials.gov.
Yeah. No, and also... They just acquired WIRB.
CenterWatch?
Yeah, don't they have
but
too?
Why would you go after just 1% of the market?
Okay.
Those are just people that pay CenterWatch to put their sites on there.
True. Okay.
Google is all of them.
Right. Okay. So moving on.
Yes. Next is starting a site as an experienced researcher. Here is where I know working on the business is much more important than working in the business. Why? Because you already know how to work in the business.
Oh, yeah.
You may not know every single aspect of owning a site.
You at the very minimum know how to talk about the business.
Yes, you love this talking.
No, it's important, right? When you come for a site selection visit or you're filling out a feasibility questionnaire, these are all about understanding the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Filling out the questionnaire, the feasibility questionnaire is the first step on getting a study.
All right, so break it down. Experienced researchers. This is assuming you're already a coordinator or a CRA or a PI.
Okay.
But you've only worked for someone else. You haven't actually done anything on your own. So break this down. Hello?
Break this down. Okay, so let's see. If you're already working in the industry, according to the best strategy would be to continue working while simultaneously starting your own business, which I agree. So, and again, we didn't prepare these slides. That's why I agree. It's new to me. So when you start a new business. There's risks involved. Right? It's going to be a while until there's revenue when you start, especially a research site. Best case scenario, you're looking at 6 months. So why would you want to quit your job and be without pay for 6 months? And on top of that, it doesn't take a lot of time when you initially begin your new research site. If you're handling everything on your own, you're probably looking at maybe 5 to 10 hours a week of your time. And if you utilize services similar to what Dan and I provide, if you use our consulting service, you're looking at a maximum of an hour a week of your time that you would have to dedicate towards research. Now, that's up until you actually acquire a study. Once there's a study in place, well, it's going to take a lot more time. And eventually you're going to have to make that decision. Well, there's a couple of different ways you can go here. You can quit your job and focus primarily and solely on your research site, or you can hire individuals to take care of the things that you do not have time for. So don't quit your job until you're in that situation, until you reach that tipping point where you have to make that decision. You don't have enough time to dedicate any longer to your research site and your full-time working career. You either need to hire somebody or you need to quit. So again, remember to do both and set a time frame for when you will finally quit one of your two endeavors. Now, that I don't exactly agree with. You don't need to set a time frame. The time frame will become apparent to you over time. Again, you'll know when you get to that tipping point where you just can't do both any longer, and you either need to quit one or hire somebody.
Right, and that's the safest thing to do because you're in complete control at that point. You're now, most likely, when you reach that point, you're now getting multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
One from your job, one from your new business.
Yep.
That is extreme leverage in your favor, and you can quit your job much more confidently as opposed to just quitting to start out as a site owner. And it's gonna be hell while you're doing both. We have like a handful of clients I can think of right now that are in this position. They're senior CRAs and site owners, and it is hell for them, and I feel for them, but that is the price of admission.
Sure.
Like anything worth having is gonna be difficult.
Almost always true.
Right?
Yep.
Unless you win the lotto.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
Right? So, speaking of working in and on the business, I had to step out for a call, but you covered all this?
Yep.
Okay. Next slide, please. Here's the steps to starting a site. So
yeah, I would agree with those.
But even experienced or naive people sometimes don't know this. It's surprising how the experienced ones don't know this, but they don't.
Yeah, even CRAs.
You can't get a study without having a PI first.
Yeah, they're not giving it to you. They're not giving it to your company.
Here's where people get confused. You may know about studies that are out there.
Sure.
You can go on clinicaltrials.gov right now and see all the studies that are out there. You're not getting anything until you have a PI.
Again, they don't award studies to your site. I mean, they do, but they don't.
Unless you know someone on the inside and you tell them, hey, I don't have a PI yet, but give me the study and I'll find one. Even then, that's super tough.
Right. Yeah, that would be...
Someone's basically putting their job on the line for you.
Yeah, that's not happening too much.
No. So the first thing, this is how we simplify everything. Remember how we said the goal and then deconstruct it?
Yep.
This is it. You want to start your own site? Good. Find a PI.
Yeah.
Don't think about anything else before this point. That's it. There's no need to go to step 2 and 3 at this point.
Well, I mean, you can think about your future and say you're a CRA and plot out whether or not this really makes sense for you to do. I'm sorry to disagree with you, Dan. You can think long term. Does this work for me? But yes, there's nothing else you need to do once you decide you're doing this.
Other
than find a PI.
But you're saying think.
Right.
Right.
Find
Very
PI.
different.
Oh, sure.
I think I'm going to own the Clippers. I really do.
Sure.
Well, I have to do a whole bunch of stuff for that to happen.
Yeah, better get a drug to market.
Right? And that's my... Remember how we talked about our decade goal in this industry?
Yeah.
Well, my multi-decade goal is that.
70-ish?
60-ish. Let's just do that. All right? If things go well with the biotechs,
sure.
Can be earlier.
Could be 50-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be 40-ish.
No.
Unless we strike gold like 3 times in a row.
No, it's not happening.
It can. It's just extremely unlikely.
No, you can't get a product to market in that time frame.
10 years you can. And it's shortening.
Yeah, but
the cycle's shortening.
All right.
That would mean the exosomes and the CBD have to both get approved in the next decade.
Yeah.
And one more.
Good luck with that.
And one more.
That's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I would need like 3 for this to happen.
The exosomes could have a number of different avenues.
Yeah, because that's a platform.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going off on a tangent.
Yes, just a little.
So find a PI. Don't do anything else. There's nothing else you need to do that's more important than that. Find a PI. The next thing, find an office space and acquire necessary supplies and equipment. So this kind of relates to number 1 because you can have a PI. The PI that you find can already have the office space and necessary equipment. So 1 and 2 can go together. They're not guaranteed to go together, but they can, and it's a lot easier if they go together, and it's a lot more valuable for you if they go together. And if I were the business owner, would give that PI a lot more equity or a lot more compensation if those 2 go together. And if they don't go together, then less equity or less compensation. And then number 3, now you can start applying for studies. So clinicaltrials.gov, email like crazy. We're going to get into the amount of emails you need to send out just from clinicaltrials.gov to get studies. Again, 2019 market is in your favor. I've been in a 2009 market where it's completely against you. I've been in a 2010 market, same, right? I've been in both. So sometimes it takes a lot more effort. If you are wanting to start a site, this is the best year to do it.
Yep.
In recent memory.
Best year since I've been in the business.
And if you can't be successful during this year, God be with you when the market turns.
Well, let's be fair. If you're research naive, it can still be tough.
Of course it's going to be tough, but if you can't do it in this market,
sure,
how is that same person going to get started in a bad market?
Right. Get a start. Not necessarily be successful by whatever your definition is, but get a start.
That's right. Same thing with job seekers right now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Create a sense of urgency now. Right? Acquire studies. Hire DSCs to get studies for you. We charge $1,000 a month. We help you get studies. We're on call to answer all your questions. We do your contracts and budgets, which there's still a section on that for the experienced sites right now. Contracts and budgets.
Sure.
But that's basically the steps to starting a site as an inexperienced researcher or an experienced researcher.
And if you don't want to hire us, you can just follow what number 3 says there.
Yeah, you don't have to hire us.
Yeah.
I would like everyone to hire us outside of Southern California.
Sure.
But you don't have to. And now, the existing site owners, the last one. What do you think of this Prezi? You like the flow?
Yeah, it's good.
It's a little more exciting, right?
Yeah.
3 ways to grow your site as an established site owner. This is us. This is us.
We'll take notice.
Yes, take notes, Chris. These 3 factors are also linked. For example, getting more physicians will give you access to more patients.
Very true.
Which will improve your site's metrics on feasibility surveys, which will improve your chances of getting more studies.
All true.
This is where the magic happens, when everything starts feeding into itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a flywheel. There's a book called Good to Great.
Yeah.
And it talks about great companies get that way because they don't just luck out with one project and become great. They take small steps in a consistent manner,
sure,
pushing the company forward. This is exactly what this is. You should constantly be getting more physicians, constantly. You could never have enough physicians join your research company.
You don't need 10 psychiatrists. But
What if you do? What if your goal is to open up a site in every state? You're an SMO.
okay, well, that's a little different than.
Then you'll need 50 psychiatrists.
Sure, if you want one in every state, sure.
But people have crazy goals.
Sure. I was thinking more 10 at one location.
What if you want to have a mega site like West Coast Clinical Trials? They had 20.
That's more beneficial recruitment-wise, but sure.
Right.
In that regard, you can never have too many.
But they can also do more studies because they have more coverage, more PI oversight, more MD oversight.
All right.
You're not going to out-argue this one, Chris. You're not going to Jordan Peterson me or Ben Shapiro me right now.
But I think realistic for most people.
Chris loves those guys.
Yes, I do. Try and get one in each therapeutic area.
Yes.
That's more realistic.
Yes. But you can never get enough.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because you can never get enough.
Okay, well, let's go this route. Would you rather have 5 psychiatrists or 5 different physicians in 5 different therapeutic areas?
Depends what my goals are.
And you just want a very successful one site.
So what's my goal?
To have a very successul one site.
So, how do you define success? Profit or
profit.
Stability in any market?
Both.
Those are different.
No,
if you want both, you need both. The answer to your thing is both.
No, I think you just need one in each therapeutic area for one site.
Yeah, but what if one of those guys leaves and they leave at the worst time because they leave in a hot market and they start their own site?
Well, hopefully one of the other 4 have a colleague.
Right, but hope's not a good strategy.
I agree.
See? You can't Ben Shapiro me on this one.
Okay, still realistic. 5 different therapeutic areas.
Right. You want to get to the point, and we've said this many times, where you can say yes to every study that comes your way.
Exactly.
And the only way to get to that point, which nobody's going to get to, is to get more physicians.
Well, hospitals do. They can take on every study.
They actually, sometimes they can't because of their IRBs.
Well, outside of that, I mean, they usually have a physician. They usually have the population demographics.
You always have pros and cons and advantages and disadvantages, no matter what you are. Small, big, medium, academic, hospital.
Yeah.
There's always something in your favor and always something against you.
Yeah.
That's just life. That's just business. Right? So get more studies, get more physicians, get more patients. Everything feeds into itself. Once you're at this point, the goal should be either more profit or growth or both, or figure out which one you value. Because sometimes growth comes at the expense of profit.
Oh, without a doubt.
But long-term profit might improve.
Yeah.
Short-term profit will suffer.
You would think that's the goal, right?
Yeah, it's like our clinic in Costa Mesa, right? We want to expand, like physically have more space at the expense of short-term profit.
Sure.
But our hope is that will bring more long-term profit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's always at a cost to something.
Oh, yeah.
You can never have it both ways. And so you've got to figure out.
You can't have your cake and eat it too?
Nope.
Oh,
I can't expand, spend more money on rent, and then keep the same profit margins in the short term, and have big profit margins in the long term. It has to come at the expense of one or the other.
Sure.
Right? So that is it. Let's see if there's any questions. In the meantime, you want to give people our spiel?
You already did, but I can give it again.
Yeah, just give it one more time. This was a small audience.
So anybody looking to start up a research site or get into the industry, we have products for both. We have the CRA Academy. It will teach you how to what on the business?
Work in
the business.
Work in.
Yeah, not on, in. CRA Academy teaches the fundamentals of research. And then we have our consulting services for those who own their own site or are interested in starting their own site. And we will work on your business for you.
Yep. And that's it. Thank you. Send me the message. Hopefully this helped, and the replay will go out to everybody, and this will also go on the podcast, and I will send another email blast to the entire email list of this replay and some information on our 2019 conference. Okay, So thank you, everybody, and we will catch you all later.